Radio. Shout it.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Of course, you know it's your fault. Beehive Radio, shout in, stepping in the building. I got an A-Town legend, super producer, CEO, boss, and one of my partners. Some call him DJ Smurf, some call him Mr. Collipark. Yeah. What's good with it, boss?
What's up, homie? What's up?
Man, feeling good, feeling great. First of all, let me say, appreciate you for stopping through this thing and hollering at a player.
Anytime you call. Matter of fact, Bone Crusher called.
Yeah. What up, though,
Shout out to Bone Crusher, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Collipark, man, I've been in this thing doing interviews for a long time.
Right.
And I like to think that I knew Mr. Collipark.
Okay.
But your name has came up in so many different influential eras in Atlanta that I didn't understand.
Okay.
I didn't know that you and the J Team DJ and you was raising hell before you even started with the music.
Right. I could have stopped after that.
Come on. You see what I'm saying? You already had a whole career and went to the top, did what you did before
Matter
you...
of fact, I just hooked back up with Lady DJ, who was Edward J's sister.
Oh, you
We did a
serious?
mixtape series called Slow Jams.
What?
Which was one of my biggest mixtape series, and we're doing a new one right now. So, yeah.
And see, on another note, I got to call you out, though, because, see, what you don't know is that I like to ride to Mr. Collipark doing Ryan Cameron's show.
Okay. That's the love.
Nigga, you be going in.
Hey, dog, you catching the love.
Come on, man. We been riding around town, boy. You make that ride at 5 o'clock a good one. So I got to salute you on that. I was going to text you, but I was like, nigga, you in here going to fuck you today.
Yeah, that's where I come from.
Exactly. So, I mean, talk to me about your young beginnings as a DJ, though. What was it that made you say, okay, let me go ahead and get into these turntables, and what do you think it was that really got you into the game?
Well, if it wasn't for the DJing part, I wouldn't be here.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
That's what I was, a DJ. Nobody knew, especially back then, the music industry wasn't in Atlanta what it is now.
Facts.
So I was just a young DJ, just like, you had Toomp.
Yeah.
You had a lot of DJs, well, not a lot, but you had DJs out here that we was just DJs at the time. And I was from the South Side. I didn't know nobody like that. It wasn't until I hooked up with Edward J, who was running the mixtape scene here in Atlanta from Decatur.
Yeah.
And when I hooked up with him, that's when I kind of started getting exposure because he had a record shop.
That's right.
And so when I hooked up with him, he gave me my first set of Technique 12s. And he gave them to me off the floor in the back.
Yeah.
I dusted them off, and that's the same pair I got to this day. I never bought another pair of turntables.
My God.
To this day. Matter of fact, I painted them black on the floor of my dorm room, and they almost kicked me out for that shit. But that's how far back I go with the DJ and shit.
Yeah.
And so that's my roots. I wasn't even a party or a club DJ. I was a mixtape DJ.
Oh.
Yeah, from the 4-track, like when 4 tracks first came out.
Yes, sir.
That's where we kind of mastered making, tracking out mixes as opposed to, now I can mix live on the spot too.
Yeah.
But and little did I know, I was kind of producing mixtapes.
Yeah.
As opposed to just sitting there in front of you mixing. Right. And that's kind of followed me throughout my career.
Answer me this, though, Smurf. As a young man getting into the game, did you have goals that you set for yourself to achieve, and did you achieve them all? Or
I ain't have no goals. I just had love.
Talk to me. So you just followed the love and the passion, and you just let it take
when
you.
When you're young, you can afford to do that.
That's true.
Now, the grown man in me lets me look back at it for what it was.
Okay.
I was young.
Okay.
I was hungry. I had love, and that's what drove me.
My God. So now when you're looking up and you seeing Toomp doing his thing, you see Jelly them doing their thing over there. I mean, told me that you slick had a beef with them too back in them days.
I didn't even know them. So that's what I don't know if know or he don't know. I was beefing with them through Lady DJ because I was in college. I didn't even know who I didn't even know. I couldn't have picked them out of a lineup.
Oh my God.
But they was coming at Edward J and them.
Yeah.
And I was at Alabama A&M in college. So I got word. That's when I answered. That taught me lifelong lessons. Don't jump in no beef that you ain't got nothing to do with.
Ooh.
I ain't even know them.
Yeah.
I was told that they were beefing. Okay, let me get them. That's just, that was a young nigga in me. Like, I got to get these niggas.
Exactly.
Who the fuck? What the fuck? Where the fuck? How the fuck? When the fuck? And that was so fun because they some of the nicest people.
You gotta love them.
Right.
Yeah.
Jelly, man, I love Jelly.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now, what was the point that you felt like you went from DJing to producing and doing music? What was that, turning point for you?
It was a natural progression when I met MC Shy D.
That's right.
Through the Edward J shop.
Facts.
And that's when I started DJing for him.
Uh-huh.
And from them, I had my first placement on his album as a producer.
My God.
True to the Game.
Yeah.
Was my first. We shot the video in Magic City. One of the first videos. I'm sure. I don't know the exact history on that, but I'm sure that True to the Game by MC Shadi was probably one of the first music videos to be shot. My first video cameo and, placement was that record.
My God.
Yeah.
So now when that hit, what was that feeling like for you though, Smurf, when you realized that, okay, now I'm in the music industry?
That shit was fun, man.
Yeah.
That shit was like going to Six Flags and living there.
Yeah.
Like you could wake up every day you woke up, man. It just felt like you was waking up at the Willy Wonka chocolate factory.
I feel that.
That's what life felt like when I got into that part of it. Because you know, I didn't know what to expect. There were no expectations. I didn't have nobody to judge off of or tell me how I was gonna be or whatever. I was just I'm the youngest of 6 kids. You know, that was just something I found on my own as far as my music or whatever, and just that it was just fun to me.
Being in Atlanta during those times though, man, I mean, what was the atmosphere in Atlanta before it became the industry, and how did you feel? Did it feel country to you back then, or did it feel like we just over here doing our thing? What was that vibe like?
You know what? I didn't really know what country was till I went to Huntsville, Alabama to go to school.
Come on now.
I'm not gonna call myself country because that's all I knew.
Yeah.
I was actually born in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
So hell no, I wasn't looking at my people saying, yo, you country, we country, we country. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I would never say that. But when I left to go to college, I got to meet people from other areas in the South. So I was calling them niggas country. Them Alabama niggas, I like, yo, them niggas country.
Yeah.
And they like, nigga, you country. It's just different kinds of country.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So living in Atlanta, and I felt like Atlanta was like the New York of the South.
Exactly.
When I went to college.
Yeah.
Because it was a different kind of country. It was the city country versus the country.
Facts.
And that's Atlanta was just, to me, it was just fun. It was party because you got high school.
Yeah.
You know, I spent my college years away from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So a lot of these people and the experiences that you hear about in Atlanta, I didn't experience because I wasn't here.
Damn.
I didn't realize, and this is some funny shit, and I don't think I ever said this, and if you don't know, you don't know anyway, I never went to Kaya.
What?
When Nabs was DJing that.
My God.
And I didn't realize that till I went to his viewing for the damn video that he made. And I was sitting there looking at all this footage, and I'm like, I never stepped foot in that motherfucker.
Damn.
But that was a huge part of Atlanta history.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But even that side of the history, to me, no disrespect to Nabs.
Yeah.
But it went Atlanta from how I saw it.
Talk to me about, from your perspective, how did you see the A?
Frozen Paradise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Atlanta Apollo. You know, Club Excess, fucking Club Illusions. That part of it. The dirty part of it.
Yeah.
Like not to say Kaya wasn't.
Yeah.
But I just never experienced that part of it.
Yeah.
And I didn't miss it. Because I didn't know, like Nabs, I didn't know Nabs like I know him now.
Exactly.
That was his thing. You know, and so to me, Nabs came here, you know, from where he was from.
Yeah. So
Toomp was at Sharon Showcase.
Yeah. What up, no Toomp?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what the difference was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, cause see, I know between you, Nabs, and Toomp, y'all are some cold-blooded mixologists too.
I can't fuck with neither one of them.
Cause y'all boys get busy.
Let me go on record. I can't fuck with neither one of them. Nabs to this day. Now Toomp still got it too, but Nabs,
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, when I stopped DJing and came back to it, I kind of hated that I stopped because the people who never stopped.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you can't get them years back, but I wouldn't trade.
What was it that made you stop?
Hell, it was a progression.
Yeah.
Like, and DJing, you didn't have celebrity DJs like that.
That's
you had
right.
fucking Kid Capri and that was it.
Yeah.
You know, Speaking of that, and I hate it when every nigga in the world started talking like them New York DJs, screaming in the mics, and we didn't do that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember, shouts out to Kid Capri, because he put that shit on the map with, with them TV shows and shit that he was on. But, you know, damn, what was I saying?
You was talking about DJing in Atlanta from your experience, and then taking it to another level, the progression from DJing to the music.
So yeah, it was just like, there wasn't celebrity DJs. You were just a DJ. And for me, I was just a mixtape DJ. Mm-hmm. And when I started DJing for Sade, it was an independent thing. So I started not really paying attention to the fact that I was learning the business of it. So it was like I progressed from DJing into producing, because I started producing and slick writing for Sade as well. And so that's when I get the experience of putting records together came from that. And that's it, you know, it just progresses.
DJ Smurf though, man. The man, the myth, the legend. Okay? Cause see, that's my whole thing, Smurf. You know, upon your shoulders a lot of folks stand on, including myself. So I mean, when you out there trying to become DJ Smurf, then reinventing into Mr. Collipark, what's going through your mind during those times?
Love, man. Yeah. I like, for real. It's not like I wish I could say I had this master plan. You know, there was really no blueprint that I followed other than Luke.
Uncle Luke.
From a music perspective. If you know my catalog, that was my inspiration musically. But as far as how I did it, I can't tell you nobody who did it how I did, because most of my peers, my DJ Smurf peers, stopped right there, and I kept going. You know what I mean? So it ain't like me and this nigga did it together. We came from way back here, and we you know, I don't have that.
I feel you on that.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I just kind of was following my passion.
So when you became the front man and it was about you doing your thing, and now the Smurf legacy is starting with your music that you putting out for yourself, what was that like with them singles and stuff like that?
I had a crew when I first started making records as DJ Smurf. Yeah. It was DJ Smurf and PMHI.
Okay.
My first, you know, albums or whatever. And I never asked for shine and wanted the light on me. I ain't want to be that nigga standing up, you know, look at the little baby plaque right there. I never, that was never me. You know what I mean? It was Smurf, and even though I was the only one on the album cover, I you know, I needed. That's why the shit was whack, because I ain't. It looked like I ain't even combed my hair before I came to the damn photo shoot. But that was never my passion to be the nigga in the front. So, you know,
I feel you on that though.
It was just,
I feel you.
It was just, to me, I always just like, you know, it's like a painter. You know, he spend that time in that room putting that painting together or whatever, and then he say he has the showing, and he invites select people in to see the painting, and he just sit back and watch them their take on his work. And that's where his gratification comes from. It ain't the money. And he finna make a bunch of money. Now, that's what, to me, that was the beauty of this whole shit. When I got paid to do it.
Ooh. Talk about when them first checks came in. How did that impact you?
Well, when I came in with MC Sade, it was always a crew, family mentality.
That's right.
So DJ Smurf checks weren't just for DJ Smurf. I shared it. So that's how I was brought into the game. And so that followed me to not have to have all the money. So it was just like, it was cool to be able to get some money to do what I love, and everybody involved, we can all make some money. And do it, you know, and have fun, and just, we never thought we'd be able to buy houses and shit, like cars and shit. We never thought that. You know, maybe a car. I was signed to Itchy Bun Records, dog. I wasn't signed to fucking Motown or Universal. You know,
That's what I was about to ask you about Ichiban, man, because
shouts out to John Abbey.
A lot of artists and a lot of Atlanta history ran through Ichiban at that time. So could you break down that label and what was going on at that time?
That was the
and how you found yourself on Ichiban.
That was the Motown.
Okay.
Literally.
Okay.
It wasn't no house though. He had a nice ass building up there in Kennesaw. I used to love to go up there. He had the warehouse in the back with all the product. Like he had a real one-stop shop, a full staff.
Yeah.
John and Nina Abbey. It was a married couple.
Yeah.
They later on got divorced, and that's how the label dismantled. But I got on there through submitting a song on a bass compilation when I was DJing for Shy D, because Shy D was signed over there, and they put out Whoop There It Is by 95 South.
Yeah.
And then they did a compilation, I gave them a record called Drop Like This Bitch, and
a classic, might I add.
Don't say a record. They might, a classic. Right. So that's the record that got me my record deal as an artist.
Yeah.
And so that's
Booty Shake in Atlanta. DJ Smurf in that scene, cranking that thing up. What was that like? And then when you were creating that music back then, what was there any secret formula to the Booty Shake sound?
So we were heavily influenced by the freestyle records. That's what the vibe come from.
Okay.
When you say the dance scene here in Atlanta was huge.
Exactly.
That's what inspired the Booty Shake sound in Atlanta.
Okay.
You take the dance scene. It's like breaking in New York.
Yeah. But we was cranking
what
that
we
shit
call
up.
yeek.
Yeah, yeeking.
What we call yeeking.
Yeah.
If you take that away from the music, you got Planet Rock.
Yeah.
But if you put yeek on top of it,
come on now,
then you got Eat His Ass Up.
Yeah.
Or Drop Like This Bitch. Or Kilo.
What was it like when you started dropping your music and you started to see the reaction to it? Though?
It was the same thing I'm saying about the painting.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I took Drop Like This to Playboy Palace on Godby Road for the first time, and when I had the test press, we used to get the test press back of the vinyl before they sent it into mass production. So I had the test press of Drop Like This, and I took it up to Playboy Palace, and I heard it, and I heard the quality of it. I heard, because Shy D was big on mixing, the sound quality of the records, and when I heard that, it blew my mind. Like, for real, that was the first. That's the feeling, like a crackhead say the first time he got high.
First hit, yeah.
That was the first hit, and you want that feeling every time you make a record. And the second time I got that, let's fast forward all the way to Whistle While You Twerk.
What?
When I heard Whistle While You Twerk mixed and mastered in a club for the first time, it was that feeling.
Oh my God. Now, back to the Whistle While You Twerk, when that thing hit and went crazy, what was it like with that whirlwind when you got the Ying Yang and now they are going on their world domination tour?
It was a lot of work. That shit was what you call a long shot.
Yeah.
You know, and we won't get into what we all were in life at that time. Hell, I was newly married. I had a baby on the way. And they were, D-Rock was going through some shit. He had a record out before called The Bankhead Bounce.
That's right.
And he was going through some shit with that. And Kane, I won't say Kane was working at U-Haul and writing for D-Rock, helping him write.
Yeah.
And so I saw Raheem succeed with drama in the left, right, left. Shout out to Shouty Red.
What up, though, Red?
That's what inspired me to take that leap from being an artist into being a record person.
Yeah.
And the Yin Yang Twins, they had done a feature on my album as the group for the first time on one of my albums. And when I heard them, I heard what you guys hear now.
Yeah.
Together, it's magic. And so we put the Whistle While You Twerk out, and the rest is history. Shout out to Raheem the Dream, for real, because he gave me He gave me the game.
The blueprint. I mean, Raheem that came here gave me the damn game too. So that's 20 years, 30 years after the fact.
I always give Raheem his props for giving me the game. Shadi gave me the game from a you have to have some kind of etiquette and standard when it comes to this hip hop. And I use the term hip hop on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I don't think people realize, because when you start talking about Southern music versus East Coast or West Coast, all this shit is hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And so he brought that New York DJ and MC shit that's in me. that's the slab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I come from good stock, from Edward J to Shy D. You know, I come from good stock.
Exactly.
So that's how I got to give them their credit. You know, Raheem giving me the game to be able to put out Whistle While You Twerk, how to promote it and work it, you know, into...
Do you feel like you are one of the pillars of this Atlanta stuff, and a lot of stuff that we have here, we wouldn't have without you? Do you feel that way?
I know that.
Do you feel like they put the respect on the name that it deserves?
They don't, but at the end of the day, the shit that I've done gonna be here long after.
Longer than the haters.
I told somebody the other day, I might not have sold more records.
You sold enough, nigga.
I sold enough, but I'm saying it's a lot of people who were bigger than the stuff that we did, but the impact on the culture that I've had, I sit, you know, even when I see little shit, I just sit back like, it's kind of like a good feeling to know where I come from and to be able to say I don't have to tell somebody I'm responsible for that, or they kind of borrowed from what we did or what we do. And you know, I don't have to. They know.
What was it like when you had the Yin Yang blowing up? And okay, now before I even go there, what was the time in your career where you felt like you had the world in your hands and you was really in control of things, and the glow was upon you?
At the Crank That video shoot.
Ooh.
Because swapping from Yin Yang, that was one thing.
Yeah.
It's like Tom Brady going to Tampa.
That's a good ass analogy.
You know what I mean? So I had already won in New England with Yin Yang.
My God.
So to actually start, because you know, full disclosure, my deal with Yin Yang and the deal that we had was more of a production company deal with them.
Okay.
My deal with Soulja and Interscope was a flat out label deal.
For those such as myself that are not really versed on that, what's the difference between a production deal and the
percentage? We ain't gotta turn this into no fucking class. The monies with the S on the end.
I feel that. I'm back with you now.
Yeah.
So you say to Crank That when Soulja Boy went crazy, and that's your label, and you got this artist.
I remember the video shoot, because the video shoot, the Yin Yang stuff, when I did my deal over at TBT, that's where we were.
Yeah.
They had an A&R by the name of Brian Leach. Shouts out to Brian Leach. Learned a lot from that brother.
Okay.
And he signed us. He signed John. He signed Pitbull. He signed Yo Gotti. He signed.
This nigga's the greatest A&R of all time.
He got ASAP Rocky now. So the whole ASAP thing. He's really good. That's why I took Hurricane when I found Hurricane. But I remember that video shoot was my first video shoot in that deal, and it was all me.
Yeah.
There was no Brian Leach in between me.
Yeah.
And you know, it was all me, and I just remembered the whole, you know, if you go back and look at the video, we had the Collipark thing on the ground where he was dancing on top of the Collipark logo. I made it. I said, this is the stamp. There will be no questions after this.
Facts.
So I made that video a coming out party for him and me, Soulja Boy and me.
Yeah.
And so that was it. That's when I felt like
you said the love was a driving factor. But how did the money impact the game?
And the money was always a bonus.
Was there ever a time when that bonus was so damn big that you thought to yourself, my God, I'm getting paid to do this?
You know what? Let me tell you the first check that I got that I was fucked up. It was a mailbox check. Literally came in the mail. I get checks through my lawyer, and you know what? The good ones usually come through somewhere. But this one showed up in the mailbox, and it was pretty damn big.
My God.
From it was a BMI check. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah.
My BMI checks normally
Yeah.
But the first one I got when I had all those records on the radio at one time. It blew my fucking mind. Cause I know it gonna be. I found one of my first BMI checks. My mom made me come over and get this old box out of the house that I had. Yeah. This was like last year. So I had one of my first BMI checks, and that shit was for like $100-something.
Yeah.
So that's where it came
humble
from.
Beginnings.
The check, and I laughed. I almost wanted to damn cry.
Damn.
Because, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And to open up the mailbox. Now I still get mailbox checks, but this was the first one.
Yeah.
And it was 6 figures. High 6 figures. In the mail. I didn't have to go negotiate no deal. I ain't had to go sign no contract or nothing. I just pulled this bitch out. And I remember opening that bitch like, and I paid for my first house with it.
Damn right.
Yeah.
So now, between that $100 check and that high 6-figure check, what was it that kept you focused on getting from that 100 to the big 100?
Well, the pressure that I had when because I told you I was a newlywed. So when you start having kids and
don't go there, I'll drink to that.
All that shit. That's the drive shifts.
Goes to overdrive, actually.
Right. So that's what my drive was in those early days. As far as the Yin Yang, the early Yin Yang days leading into the Soulja Boy days. It was like, okay, now I got people I got to take care of now.
Yeah.
And so and I ain't gonna lie, it was always in the back of my mind, this shit might be over after this album. I used to always think like this.
I feel you.
Because we didn't I had already exceeded.
Yeah.
From a monetary perspective, I had already exceeded what I thought I could get out some fucking music. I'm first generation record deals and shit like that. So when you see all these cats running around here with these record deals now, it wasn't like that. Yeah. Back then, it was truly a blessing to get a record deal. We couldn't go on fucking TikTok and do a dance and wake up. Like, we had to fucking go work these records, man, and it wasn't a given.
Speaking of TikTok though, when your music transitions from all of those times and then it hits TikTok and go damn crazy, what goes through your mind when you see that y'all are still making that same impact on the modern day
But that's
culture?
What goes back to the other question you asked when you say, do I get the credit or whatever? Like, and because I could stuff that I've been a part of. Yeah. Versus some of those other people who do get the credit. Yeah. And because their brand might be, they're not as relevant to the culture now.
Okay, so now this spins me off into a whole nother question then, because see, I understand what it is that you did and what you bring to the game. How can somebody else who didn't, bring as much as you did to this game get more credit than somebody that actually put it down?
Because I never stood on top of a table.
But see, why should you have to? No,
I'm telling you
why should you have to stand on top of a table though? That music did that.
That's just the way the world worked, man. And you have to see. I'm okay with that. Some niggas don't be okay with that. Okay. So they say, no, nigga, it ain't happening like this. I did this. This nigga ain't did shit. Give me if it wasn't for me, this nigga wouldn't even be here. That's how some niggas. I never did that. Okay. I never did that. Because to me, if you want to, like, Jermaine Dupri, yeah, and he gets his credit or whatever. But when you start talking about the Puffies and the Dr. Dre's.
Yeah.
He's on that fucking Mount Rushmore.
That's true.
But a lot of times he don't get mentioned. They don't talk. Just go look at the
Why is
Mariah
that,
Careys and the fucking Ushers and
Yeah.
let alone and those two projects wasn't even signed to him.
Yeah.
You got the label shit that he did, the
Yeah.
remixes, the production and all.
Exactly.
Look, if you stand on top of the table and demand your respect, respectfully, a lot of times you'll get it and people will know or whatever. I just never did that, and I'm okay with it. It's not like I'm sitting back mad about it.
Yeah.
If I was out here,
I don't feel like you mad about it. I'm mad about it.
I know a lot of people
It makes
like
me
that.
mad when I see that kind of stuff because I know what people. I judge the contributions that people make to music based off of my life story. Okay.
Okay.
So if I'm living my life story and I'm thinking, drop like this, I recall that. I'm thinking Ying Gang Twins, the best party damn time of my life while I was in college. I'm thinking Soulja Boy, I was just getting on the radio, Kiss Me Through the Phone, Crank That was doing this thing.
Right.
I'm remembering these impactful times, and then I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, now you done spanned a few decades with this, and you got to thank Collipark to that. I'm telling you, nigga, I'm riding in the car with my wife, and I'm riding to the damn 5 o'clock music. I'm like,
Right.
this nigga still living with us.
Right.
So talk to me about that, just, the longevity in your career, man, and then actually being able to make it a career from something that you just had a passion for.
I'm right back DJing right now.
Ooh.
And so it's always been about the music. So for everybody else, even if it might start there,
Yeah.
it turns into something else. And that's when they lose sight of it and start thinking that it is what it ain't. So at the end of the day, when I rediscovered DJing, the passion that I've always had started there. So I'm at a 360 right now.
Facts.
And so you hear when you in the car listening to my mixes, you hearing that love that inspired everything.
Yeah. Working with the likes of Jeezy, what was it like working with him?
I was so in a zone at that time.
Ooh.
It was just like he knew what he wanted. So it's easy to work with people who know what they want.
Yeah.
And so I pretty much did the beat. He wrote the record. I wasn't even there when he wrote the record, but I remember when we came back together during the mix of the record. That's when the collaboration and the arrangement of Trap Star. I remember that being like almost a disaster.
Damn.
But I learned that when an artist wants what an artist wants, let them have it. And that was before Soulja.
Yeah.
So when an artist gets to where they at based off what they doing, you don't have to be. I learned that you don't have to be a Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah.
I ain't got to go on there and say so deaf on everything that I touch. So I took that approach when I signed Soulja. I didn't go in and produce his whole album. He did it because that's how I found him.
Damn.
I just polished it. I got in there with my goddamn, you know what I mean? My 401 and my goddamn kaboom, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cleaned it up.
When you see Soulja, man, and he hauled off and just blew all the way up, and he was just for that. He brought you into a whole new demographic and a younger demographic and reinvigorated the whole brand altogether.
He did
What
that.
was that like when you saw him take all the way off? And did you think he was going to be as big as he turned out to be?
Yeah. After I committed, yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it because I was taking a chance.
Yeah.
Some might have thought. But once I committed, I saw what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And come to find out, I wasn't the first one who saw it,
Ooh.
but I was the smartest one who saw it.
My God.
Yeah. So that was a collaboration between what he brings to the table. It was a perfect collaboration. Like Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
That's what that was for 2 albums.
What caused y'all to split and go separate ways? Why didn't y'all just keep the party going? Because y'all was winning.
It was honestly, it was some business stuff, and then he was maturing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And you see how he is.
Yeah.
He want to do shit the way he want to do it. And, you know, a lot of that didn't have nothing to do with the music. So, you know, you put those two things together. I respected him. He respected me. And so we just went our separate ways.
As a DJ, as somebody that has a production company, and then as a CEO, man, at one of those times, which one do you feel like came the most natural to you?
All of it did, because when you're around something for so long, even when I was just an artist on Ichiban, when I'm on the road and I'm watching the radio reps deal with the PDs and the music directors, and I'm sitting in these record conferences and all this shit, and years of that.
Yeah.
Like, you just
pick it up.
You start accumulating knowledge and stuff like that. And so,
working with Jamie Foxx and Sean Garrett,
we never really sat in the room. Sean might be one of the cockiest niggas I know. Shouts out to Sean Garrett. Sean, I love it though.
Yeah.
It comes across in his work. But I pretty much just did the track, and he put all that shit together, and you know, I would go back and mix the records and stuff like that. That's kind of how I worked with Sean, because Sean had fucking the Sierra, the fucking at the time and all that shit. So he was hotter than me.
Yeah.
At the time. So that's kind of how that went. Now after that, Jamie, I did some remixes for Jamie.
Yes, sir.
That had more direct contact than the actual Warm Bed record did.
Yeah.
And so that's how it was. And when you moving so fast, man, I had so much shit on the pot. I mean, on the stove at that time.
You were saying that you was in a zone a while back, man. Talk to me about that zone, and what is that like? Do you know when you like, hey man, I'm in a damn zone? Anything
if you listen to Get Silly by B.I.C. and listen to me talking shit at the end of that record. Even when I laugh when I hear the end of Get Silly. Yeah. I'm talking cash shit. I say, is that all y'all got?
Ooh.
Cause you know what that was? I had so many people doubting what I was doing with Soulja.
Yeah.
And when we did Get Silly, I knew that was a smash too.
Yeah.
So it was like we was shooting from half court with our eyes closed at that time.
And hit.
And that was before Wobble. And so, you know.
So, okay, how about this then, sir? Okay. All of these artists that you keep on naming, there's not a wedding that happens without them songs hitting.
Right.
It's not a holiday that happens without them songs hitting. How do you feel when you realize everybody that you come across, y'all go down in history as really putting it down? I mean, you went in there with Soulja and put it down. You went in there with the Ying Yang and put it down. VIC put it down.
What artists don't realize is when you work with somebody. I love that scene in the Biggie movie with Puffy coming there with that damn Juicy record and said, we finna rap on this shit right here. You know, they don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
Just trust me.
Yeah.
This right here, just trust me.
Exactly.
You wasn't in the car with me riding down the fucking Fort Valley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wasn't with me when I did all this shit that I bring to your table that you get the benefit from.
Hey.
I don't walk in telling you, nigga, do you know who the fuck I am? I could walk in. Niggas do it every day. Nigga, do you know who the fuck I am?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up and
Come
listen
on.
and do what I say do. That's not how I rock.
Exactly.
I didn't get into this. It's music, man.
Yeah.
If I'm not having the time of my life doing this shit, I don't want to do it with you.
I feel that.
When you turn it into something other than that, I don't want to do it with you.
Yeah.
No more. I don't give a fuck who you are.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. So.
But once again, though, before you went off, I'm talking about making classic shit with these niggas. How is there a feeling that Mr. Collipark gets in the studio when he says, okay, whistle while you
when you doing it from every record is that.
Okay.
When you doing it from that space, when you doing it from that place,
yeah,
you don't get up from a project or a song without, even if it ain't that.
Yeah.
In your mind, is that. Like, the beautiful thing about working with Yin Yang, I don't recall us ever struggling to make singles.
Ooh.
Like niggas be like one hit wonder.
Yeah.
I never had a one hit wonder. I was getting called that for the longest for a second. And I'm like, what a one hit niggas that I work with? 'Cause that's one.
Exactly.
I might have some two.
Yeah.
But I ain't never had no one hit wonders. You know what I mean? I never, once we sit down and say we finna do a project, nigga, we finna have some fun or whatever. Like I remember even when we picked Wobble off VIC album, he had a nice project.
Yeah.
You know, it was just that record. The staff at Warner Brothers, for some reason, they loved that fucking song. We played that record for the Office. Shouts out to Kevin. Damn, what's Kevin's name? Whatever. When we played the album, Wobble is the record that they kept wanting to hear.
Damn.
And that's why they didn't know how to promote it. They didn't know nothing about that motherfucker. They just knew when it came on, them live percussions and them horns and all that shit. That shit get up in you, man. That shit is spiritual.
That's true.
That shit is spiritual.
Yeah.
That's music. Halftime. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
Wah. That's HBCU. That get up in your soul, brother. That's bigger than a 4 on the floor, a 1, 2, 3, 4 count. That's in your DNA.
That's true.
That's the difference between what I do and the difference.
How do you feel now when you still hear them records going crazy though? Because those records that we speak of still go crazy. And I want to share that experience with you right now. Do you ever sit back like, boy, I made some motherfucking hits in this bit. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
Come on. What is that feeling like? Because everybody can't even say that.
Usually when I'm away from Yin Yang for a long period of time, then I go to one of their shows.
Oh.
Because they do records that I forget about.
Damn.
The catalog that we did, because it's records that their fans know that didn't come out as singles. Like
Alice, one of my favorite ones.
Georgia Dome.
Yeah.
By Myself, which was a single, but if you ain't from here, like
Nerve Calm was one of my favorites.
Wow, nigga,
my God.
Deep. Nigga, you go deep.
Come on, that bass line, man. That was made for the trunk, Smurf.
Right.
That was made, and I had them in my trunk,
Right.
man. So I would just ride down.
That was Kane at his, that was Kane right there.
My God.
But that's usually when I sit back. When I went to the first Millennium Tour show with them, I think it was in Nashville.
Yeah.
And I saw that crowd up there, people who might have been a little younger than we were.
Yeah.
But they grown now, coming back to see the group that they grew up off
exactly.
of. I was sitting in the back by the sound men, looking back just looking at the response to these records, because you remember what was going on when you was making these records. And I tell people now what's most satisfying about the whole shit is that we have become their version of what Motown might have been for my parents or Yin Yang Twins. The catalog, to them is probably bigger than some of those artists that I grew up listening to that was older than us. So that's when you be like, we got some motherfucking records. You know what? We got fuck that shit. We got and if you go to that Millennium Tour, they kick ass.
Yeah.
The energy of the music that we made.
Who would you want to see in the verses?
We can't go against nobody because
I'm talking about you.
I can't because my shit sit. This is what I'm saying. And people get mad at me when I can't answer this question straight up, because my shit sits different in the culture than, for instance, follow me to Birmingham and have a verses with me to those people. A verses for me to the world might not make sense the way it would to Macon, Georgia.
Well, see, that goes back to the stuff that I'm really trying to pinpoint to through this podcast and just understanding in this industry, because as I, have my little time in this thing, I'm seeing stuff that I'm not understanding. Right. Okay. No, nigga, the records that you made were huge ass. Those records are huge. When you talk about the time that the Ying Gang was in the club, it's probably not a club song that goes off harder than Get Low. The Whisper song changed how niggas was rapping for a long ass time. You got Whistle While You Twerk came out of nowhere and fucked the game up.
So stop right there. That's a good one. Let's put Whistle While You Twerk and Say Ay in my verses.
Oh my God.
To the culture, like to the niggas, those two records right there.
Yeah.
Top. Then some niggas top.
Exactly.
But if you put me against, I don't know. And you know what made me look at it like this? I didn't even look at it like this till I saw Scott Storch versus Manny Fresh.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
That's what made me say, damn. Because I remember them early Cash Money records going off in the club.
See, once again, forgive me, but they didn't know what the fuck they was doing when they put Manny Fresh against Scott Storch.
Right. That's what I'm saying, the same thing.
You can put Collipark with Manny Fresh.
Right. Right.
And it's gonna go the fuck down.
Right. Because honestly, before I saw that versus, I wouldn't have never, because I admire Manny Fresh.
Yeah, I love Fresh too.
I wouldn't have never said I could do a versus against Manny Fresh. But after watching that, that would have been a good one. Because the records that we grew up with, that early Juvie, the 400 Degrees Juvie, and the Big Times and all that shit.
My God.
The level of records.
But see, also, the way I feel about the culture, because when I was riding to the Yin Yang, I wasn't riding to nothing else at that time. You had your other crunk artists that were on that same wavelength. So, you know, your Bone Crushers, your David Banners, and everybody else in that, Lil Jon, you know, but that was my mind. That was the music I was listening to. I wasn't listening to no up north music at that damn time.
Right.
I wasn't listening to no West Coast music at that damn time. Now, if you take me to the 90s, yes, I was listening to my New York stuff. Yes, I was listening to my West Coast stuff. But from that 2000 era, that's just what it is.
Right.
And what it brought to the game cannot be taken away. If you play that on a loudspeaker, niggas know what they are hearing.
Fucking with us, man.
But that brings me to my question. Why? Why is it like that? Why do we have these silent majorities that are not being spoken for or being understood in mainstream? Who are these people that feel like, okay, I'm going to dictate the culture and I'm going to say that this ain't what it is? I'm going to call black yellow, I'm going to call blue green, and I'm going to call white gold.
That's how the world works.
I'm having a hard time understanding that, Collipark.
Right. But think about that. It's a lot of shit in society, in this world, that work like that.
Shit got to stop.
Right.
This shit got to stop.
And so that's usually when somebody's sitting back saying what you saying.
Yeah.
That's when something happens.
Okay. Because we ain't gonna let that.
Yeah.
I just can't. I'm sick of it because I understand what I lived, and you know I hear people just try to tell stories in ways that just ain't what really happened.
Right.
And I see the forefathers and the people that actually. So, what do you think Collipark's contribution to this Atlanta industry was?
Wow.
Because nigga, you was with me every step of the way.
If you started my mixtape,
yeah,
the influence of the J Team,
yeah,
start there. To the culture of this city. Before you had a million rappers, before you had 107.9,
yeah,
or 97.5 at the time, when you just had the Fresh Party,
yeah,
that was the soundtrack. Before DJ Jelly and Oomp, before all of that, that's where I start.
Okay.
So when you ask what I mean to this city, you got to go back before all these niggas.
I'm with you. So then, what is it like?
That's why I got back on radio, because Ryan Cameron asked me. No other nigga could have made me do that. And when I heard my first mix, because I pre-do them and send them in.
Yeah.
I said, damn, I ain't never heard myself DJing on the radio in this city after all these years. It was crazy. Now, that was a weird thing.
Yeah.
But he's the only one could have asked me to do it because I wasn't doing no shit. I was like, Brian coming back? Because, he had left.
That's right.
And when they told me he coming back, they was like, the way it was pitched to me, he coming back, we trying to get some mixes from a couple of DJs just to welcome him back. Fuck it, I'll do it.
Exactly.
And I said, I'm going to do a mix so fucking A. And I did a booty shake Atlanta mix. I dusted them records off. Records that I don't even play no more because I had started back DJing before then, but I was able to pull them records off.
Yeah.
And I made that mix because it don't get no more A in radio than Ryan Cameron.
Exactly.
I said, I'm finna make that nigga make the ugly face with this shit. And I sent that mix in, and the PD hit me, Derek.
Derek, what up, though, D?
Like, yo, Ryan wants you to do another one. Ryan didn't even call me. He said, Ryan wants you to do another one. So I did another one.
Yeah.
And then after that second one, he said, man, I want to have a meeting with you.
Exactly. Who did you see in the game that intrigued you, that made you say, man, this boy fine, this girl fine? Who actually made you say, you know what? Who raised your eyebrows?
As far as what, inspirational artists?
But just artists that you saw that you were like, okay, I'm hearing, like if you heard a producer, you were like, God damn, that nigga hard. Or you heard a rapper, you were like, man, this nigga snapping harder than everybody ever met.
Back then?
Now, it don't matter when. Who was it that you liked?
My influence is wide. But if my first was Luke. I started with Luke. Luke, go back and listen to the catalog. You can listen to the whole first, second, and third 2 Live Crew albums. Yeah. And that's my life story right there. Okay. We want some pussy, head, booty, cock, throw the dick. Do the rap. Me so horny. No, this is before all the I Want to Rock and all that shit. God. This was the grimy shit.
My God.
How you think me and Ying Yang, them niggas are my spirit brothers. like they, we right here. Yeah. Go listen to a record called Pull My Hair. Yeah. On the USA album. That's when I dropped the mic. That was the last project that we did together. Because the one after that, we was the one with Wyclef and all that. That was some bullshit. But no disrespect, Wyclef. We just wasn't clicking. But
what the hell was going on with Wyclef? You did a whole album with Wyclef?
No, you know, the album with Dangerous.
Okay. He was such a fan. We were in Miami and word got back to us, Wyclef want to meet with y'all. He wanted them to get on a remix. Oh, I think the Hips Don't Lie remix or some shit. Some record. No, it was a record he did for Lionel Richie, I think. Okay. And we had to go meet, me and my brother had to go meet him at his hotel or some shit. And he was huge fans of the boys. And I was like, shit, I'm a huge Wyclef fan. Yeah. And I used to love that Staying Alive record. Nobody else liked that shit around me. Yo, what this shit? Wyclef hard as fuck. Like, so I was like, well, shit, we about to start on the new album. Why don't you? He was like, sure. So that's how that all happened. What artists did you find out that were fans of the movement that surprised you when they reached out, or you just came across them?
It's funny because you don't know. Back then, you didn't know who, like the Britney Spears shit. At the time, who the fuck? Yeah. Britney Spears reaching out for the Yin Yang Twins. But again, we had that soundtrack when niggas wanted to get, you might not talk about Whistle While You Twerk or, you know, Where Do You See My Dick or whatever. Like, niggas was bumping that shit.
Come on.
Yeah, niggas was bumping that shit. So, like, Britney, that might have been the one that, like, because we were so grimy at the time. Even with John was more polished than, you know, what we were. We were grimy with our shit. Yeah. Go, like, anybody who's a true Yin Yang fan, and if you're not, go pull up the albums, the full length albums, not just the singles, because that'll give you a look into the true fan base of it. So you had some people who, like you, calling out the fucking nerd.
Exactly.
Come on, man. I ain't never heard nobody call that particular song out. But yeah.
That was my joint.
Yeah.
So now, Collipark, what are you doing now as far as the music? Do you think about finding new artists and getting back out there again, or are you just like, you know what, I did my thing, I'm tired of y'all niggas?
I mean, I'm like double Dutch right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cause so much goes into it, man. The passion and the love that one must have.
Yeah.
to do this right.
Facts.
I be one to like I get inspired when I hear shit. I be like, man, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
And then you be like, okay, then you got to get up because you can't just say it and change it.
Yeah.
Okay, if it's bullshit, show me what. And that's where I get like, because to commit to an artist like that, and I just did a little deal with an artist last year that it was a deal where I didn't have to commit.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to commit like that. But it was an artist that pretty much undiscovered, ain't got much social media and all that. Because I can't start with an artist that's already got a big social media following because that's where their shit lay.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
Yeah.
But that don't, 1 million followers on social media does not inspire me if there's no substance.
Yeah.
If your thing to get to that 1 million followers was to put on some fucking high heel shoes and walk on the beach with your titties out for 6 months at a time, and your followers just kept growing. Oh shit! Now I got 1 million. Oh, now I want to rap. That don't do nothing for me because you're not even a rapper.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not inspired. So I don't know. So that's why I chose. But then you have to play the game. Yeah. At the same time. So for me, it's just.
What is that that you think that
you just know it when you see it? It don't exist. That you can't write it on a piece of paper.
Are you serious? So you ain't got no formula.
None of these niggas who I signed. You think I was looking for any of that shit? Just close your eyes and just think back to all the artists who I signed.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking for none of that shit. They was just dope in ways that at the time wasn't common. I told my homeboy 2 weeks ago, he's got a country artist, and he was telling me one of those blogs posted shit on Instagram, and his number started, and he was telling me all the people who was reaching out and all that, and I was like, man. While he's excited, I'm excited for him. I'm like, man, everybody got the same game now. You know what I mean? Everybody looking at the same shit.
Yeah.
Just waiting. They got whole staffs looking at the numbers now. So the guesswork is gone.
Yeah.
It just so happened, I saw this shit with all these views. Oh, he really is dope. On top of the views.
Exactly.
So now, it's 20 niggas looking at that now. More than that. I'm saying niggas who can make a difference. All these niggas looking at him. So I told him, I'm sick of that shit. I'm sick of that. I said, what's the next version of social media going to be? Like, what's next? Where can I go now and find some shit that ain't nobody looking at? What? Damn. And he was like, it ain't gonna never shit. I said, dawg, I don't have the answer. I said, I'm not telling you what it's gonna be, but it can't, this ain't it. What's the next version of me walking out of here and some niggas standing around the trash can singing their ass off? And I'm like, yo, nigga, you got a manager, nigga? Oh shit. What's the next version of that? Because this social media shit ain't it. Yeah. It is. Yeah. But that don't, like when I found Soulja Boy, that was new. Yeah. I went somewhere, niggas wasn't on the fucking internet. When we was making strip club records, I'm talking about strip club records. Yeah. Not records that just so happened to got played in the strip club. Yeah. Listen to the lyrics to Whistle While You Twerk. We were calling out every strip club in Atlanta got called out.
That's right.
In that record. So that wasn't, name me a record before that. We made it a subgenre of hip hop to make strip club songs. That wasn't being done. So what's next? That's what I'm asking. Where can I go now to find that thing? I don't know. I'm hoping to be walking out of the fucking grocery store or some shit, and some shit just hit me. That's how it happens.
How do you feel like social media and this stuff has kind of stifled the creativity?
Do you see how excited I just got talking about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
As opposed to the rest of this interview?
Yeah. Yeah.
See?
Creativity though, man. What do you think is stifling that right now, and why we not?
These niggas don't be doing shit. They on their phones, man.
Yeah.
It kills me to watch these rappers, man. It just, cause it starts here.
Yeah.
They build their artistry from this. They don't add this to the artistry.
Mm-hmm.
The shit that they have to do to matter.
Yeah.
You know, and then by the time I get, it's all these motherfuckers. I go in the studio because I go in the studio with artists.
Yeah.
When I decide to go now, and I just be sitting back because I've been in the studio with real fucking what I can say, and I don't want to sound like the mad rapper, the old nigga, the angry, the old hating ass nigga. Nigga ain't had no shit out since goddamn. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You ask me what
I'm with you.
What motivates me, what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I want the truth. I don't want to lie to the nigga flipped up to sound like the truth.
Yeah.
Cause ain't no nigga that I work with that I put out he can't be questioned.
That's right.
We did what we did. We started what we did. There's no nigga that came after us that did it better than what we did.
Ooh. I'm with you.
So I'm looking. You just know it when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the dope. Even BIC, I was not excited about that nigga. I ain't gonna lie, he know it. So my brother, because he used to work at the barbershop where I used to get my hair cut at when I had hair. So he finally, because my brother went to the same barbershop.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Reggie. He finally talked my brother into fucking with him. So my brother he real serious. Like once he commit to something, he go hard.
Yeah.
So he said, I'm working with Big or whatever. He made this record called Batman. It was a cool little record. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. It still wasn't, but that's the record that got him his situation.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I never had seen him perform. I said, I gotta go, because if I'm gonna go represent this to a building, like we was finna do the deal at Warner Brothers, and I was like, I gotta at least know what the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and saw him at the Royal Peacock, I think it was, perform. And I can't remember what song he did, but when I saw him, and it's this thing, it's funny, it's a way artists move that if they can do that move, to me is this little inside shit with me and my homeboys. If you can get that little movement, it's like this little, if I had it, I'd show it to you.
Yeah.
But he was killing that shit. That the little way that you move, and it works well on the camera.
Exactly.
He was killing that shit in person. He didn't even really nail it in the video we shot. That's what's so funny about it. He didn't even kill it in the video. But when I saw him perform live, I said, phew.
Yeah.
Okay, I can work with him.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it till I saw it.
My God.
And I didn't know he was gonna do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where the magic comes at. Like I just heard this week that the young lady who was doing the poetry at the inauguration was discovered by Biden's wife.
Damn.
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard.
Yeah.
She was somewhere and heard her do some poetry.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
She had
fucking, and now she every fucking well.
Exactly.
Her mind was blown.
Yeah.
If the story's true. Her mind was blown. That girl was just, and she I thought she was fucking 15. This is like 22 or some shit, right? She do that shit.
Yeah.
She was doing what she do, just like she always do. Biden's wife, if the story is true, saw her and said, I know who gonna speak at your shit.
Damn.
That's how it's supposed to go.
COVID-19, surviving it. How did it impact you?
Man, I found the music. I'm telling you, like when D-Night started DJing, as a DJ, there's a little hate go on with niggas. Like every nigga was a little mad at D-Nice because he blew that shit out the water.
No, he did.
Nigga was sitting back.
Damn, that was supposed to be big.
Nigga had the hat working, had the city in the back. He had this shit right here in the back. And he DJing like he don't even realize that the city behind him and shit. He's just in that motherfucker just vibing and shit, playing all old records.
Damn.
Nigga sat back. And so, like the second or third night that he did it, and I saw the following of it, and this was at the beginning of we didn't know what it was gonna turn into. But I said, man, D-Nice, he rocking, like I loved it.
Yeah.
I said, man, I'm gonna go up for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna play all old Atlanta shit, bass shit. My catalog with Atlanta booty shake, Southern booty shake, period, is second to none. Like I got records, like you had to have the vinyl for a lot of shit that I play. So I went up, and I had like 8,000 followers on, because I'm not a big social media guy. I had like 8,000 followers.
That's a lot of folk.
Well, no, that was my followers on Instagram total.
Oh.
I didn't announce it or nothing. On Friday, the Friday I decided to do it at 4:00, I went up, and I got up to like 5,000 followers. My total following on Instagram was like 8,000 followers. And I thought something, but my phone was. And then I saw like Carrie Hilson popping in, and niggas Polo, and all these niggas started. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And so that's what came out of COVID. When I started playing those records, I got a feeling through those records that I hadn't felt in 30 years.
Damn.
That's what the COVID has done for me. A love for this, and ain't got nothing to do with money. Ain't got nothing to do with money.
I can dig that.
Yeah.
Lastly, Smurf, how can these folks contact you? And is there anything that you would want to tell these people?
Thank you. Thank you for because even if you don't know my contributions to the music, they give back.
Yeah.
By the support.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like the AI blowing up on TikTok.
Come on now.
1 billion plays or whatever. We top 5 TikTok videos of 2020. I ain't have nothing to do with that.
It's crazy.
Somebody sent it to me, just one of the early ones.
Yeah.
These 2 old ladies had to be some old cheerleaders.
Yeah.
White ladies. Sent the shit, and the shit was funny as hell, but they were killing that shit.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me another one. I said, oh shit. And I saw the TikTok shit on it. That's when I went on and I said, oh shit. That's when we got up to about 1 billion plays, and it's like 3.5. I ain't checked it in a while. It's like 3.5 million different videos made to TikTok. So I have to say thank you for the continued support. That's all I want.
Right. Shit, nigga, monetization, nigga.
But even, thank God for the money that we are blessed enough to be paid for the shit.
Exactly.
But we getting back what we put in.
Facts.
Blood, sweat, and the chicken in the window, nigga. Did you ask Kane about the chicken in the window? The chicken I fried and had in the little Ziploc bag that was in the window with the loaf of bread, nigga. Going to Fort Valley College.
Yeah.
That's Aya.
Yeah.
That's what we getting back. Whew. Matter of fact, we recorded that record twice.
What?
The first time we did it in my brother's basement. I had my shit set up in his garage. And for whatever reason, the quality was fucked up. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I mixed the beat. The beat is the same as what you hear. But the vocals was fucked up. And we went and redid the vocals over. So that's a 2-track that I mixed.
Yeah.
But that was our comeback to stop us from being a one-hit wonder. The hunger you hear in the way that they rapping on that record.
That was hard as hell.
It's still, as far as how it dropped,
that
shit dropped. That's might be their hardest one, how it dropped to me. Woo. That bitch mean. That bitch is mean.
My God.
Yeah.
Well, Smurf, appreciate your time today, boss.
That was fun, man.
Man, that's what we here for.
Thank you. I don't get a chance to really get it off. You asked the right questions, man. You asked the right. It's probably the shit that we was talking about before we started rolling the camera probably got me a little open. We can't tell y'all about that.
No, can't let these niggas know the sauce.
Nah.
Beehive Radio, shout it. DJ Smurf / Mr. Collipark. We up out of this thing. Holla.
Yep.